Ho, and welcome to the second day on TryHackMe Advent of Cyber. I know I'm a bit late today, usually I'm a bit earlier, so I'm gonna try and get this video done as fast as I can. So we have a few questions to answer. Now before we do that, you can go ahead and read the whole tutorial on how to use this tool here, this notebook, Jupyter notebook I think it is. And then you can go ahead and read about how to use different tools, introduction to the scripting language you're going to use, which is Python, how to use pandas and matplotlib. Now, I'm going to go straight ahead and talk about how to analyze the the CSV file, which is right here. It's not the biggest of them all. The general idea is not to count 100 rows or columns. The general idea is that you can use Python to automate the counting for you, the grouping on the different things you need to do in order to answer the questions. So let's go ahead and check out the questions. The very first one is going to be how many packages we captured. Now you noticed I already answered, so if you just want the answers, they're right here. The amount of packets that were captured can be done with a normal count. So if we check out the note right here, let me see if I can resize this window just a tad. I cannot. So to read the notes here, you can read that the data frame is called df, as you see here at the top. You're going to load in from the pandas read CSV file as a variable, put it into this variable right there that is called df, and then you're going to show the first 5 in the row just as a casual output, you know. And then the question number 2, which is our first question, we can use the count on the df or the data frame. So it's just a df.count, pretty easy, and you're going to get this output right there. And then you can basically just see that the packet number is 100. You're going to give the first answer as 100. Pretty easy, right? The second question, or the third question, is going to be about what IP address sent the most amount of traffic during the packet capture. Now, in this particular example here, you're getting some help, and they talk about you can use the group by, so that basically groups all the IP addresses, and then onto that you want to get the size, and that's going to be represented with a number. You could go ahead and sort it in a certain way, so you get the top one right there, you know, in ascending order. So the ascending would be 10, 10, 1, 4. That is also the answer that I supplied, which is going to be the correct answer. The third question, or the fourth, as they say this, is basically more or less the same as the third one. You're just going to group the protocol column and the size, and then you can basically see with your eyes that the ICMP is actually the most amount, holds the most amount of packets sent. So that is really the easiest way that I could find, just to say, well, maybe the question is different, but the result is the same. So sometimes using the same code can actually answer more than one type of question. So what have we learned in this room, and why do we do these kind of things? Now, in data science, when you're going to analyze a larger amount of files, for example, traffic analysis, different kind of log files, they usually do not come in CSV files. That is the format of the data in this particular case. You can also get them in other types of formats. This is a comma separated value represented in a nice column way. Sometimes you can also get it in just raw text with a line. You need to parse that line, and then this wouldn't work the same way. Then you would have to write some actual Python code in order to parse the lines of code or the traffic to get the correct information out. For example, in order to count the amount of, you know, IP addresses or requests or whatever kind of log it is. In this particular case, it's just a sample log. It's not a real log or anything. It doesn't really look like it. It could be a standard log representing the amount of protocols, the source destination, and whenever the protocol was triggered. But other than that, it doesn't really say much. Real traffic analysis is a lot more advanced. And usually it's done through an intrusion detection system where you can run different kind of modules and standard scripts detecting different kind of patterns in order to verify the traffic. If you're just going to do manual traffic analysis, you can always use stuff like Python or these different kind of libraries, which is also good for that. I actually thought about, what if we posted all this into ChatGPT? And you should probably try and do that. Maybe ask ChatGPT, how can we sort these kind of things? What is the easiest way, right? So maybe think about how easy it is with Python to loop through all these rows of data and separate it by a comma, because this is a comma separate value file, and then just count from a question how many packets were captured in total. You could also just scroll down, see the number 100. That would be a valid way of doing it in this particular case. But if the file were like, let's say 175,000 lines, and you didn't have a correct line number indication, then it would be a lot of scrolling, and maybe it would be like hundreds of megabytes, maybe even gigabytes, and then it will not fit inside a normal text editor window. So, log analysis. I think it's very important to verify that this is a blue day, which means that this is a defensive day. So defensive cybersecurity, very important. Log analysis, making sure that you can know what you look at, know what you look for. So I guess for now, in this very tight moment for me, and I apologize for late video, I want to say I really hope you learned something about it, and I want to see you again tomorrow on day 3. So have a really nice and good evening, and keep hacking.